Can you give me like an instance where you were hired, because you're doing strategic financial management, right? So how that made a significant impact?
Sure. Yeah, I can think of a company that actually was in boutique women's fashion, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when we really looked at the business, we look at it in its entirety and we kind of take an audit across the board of where are the communication breakdowns potentially, kind of like more of a management consulting type
Mm-hmm.
perspective, I suppose, than just through the financial and the nerdy numbers lens. And so
Yeah.
we'll really take a look across the board where we might have a breakdown in the collection of that data and being able to actually utilize it to improve sales. And so it might be a tech stack issue. And so that's something that we might be talking about, even though that we're the finance accounting type perspective. And what we're trying to really do is gather as much data and numbers as possible in order to do our job. And so, from that perspective, with regards to your specific question of, what's an example? So, we came in, we had to really figure out how can we collect all this data, and then we had to run through and really do the health assessment around where are we today?
Mm-hmm.
How are we performing today against industry standard benchmarks? And what those really are called are KPIs, key
Mm-hmm.
performance indicators. And what we are looking at is trying to figure out on an operational basis, just at a quick high level, can we get a pulse on how healthy this business or this segment of the business is? And so once we have that, then we're able to really benchmark it against where we should be or where we want to be. Can we reverse engineer the success and build a playbook to get there? And that's something that has always been fascinating to me with business owners is what value they think their business is or what it would sell for if they were to go and do an M&A type transaction. And it typically is a lot lower than what they think it's worth. And so putting together and reverse engineering that playbook to get and achieve that exit value that they're hoping for, or it could just be this is the amount of cash flow that I want to produce. So in this instance, in this particular client,
Mm-hmm.
we are able to look at it from a ROAS standpoint, a return on ad spend, as one of the KPIs that the marketing team understood quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to more than double and improve it from 2.1 up to a 4.3. And so in this instance, that was a huge win for us. But there was a lot of different layers in that funnel as how we got there. And it was interfacing with the marketing team and understanding kind of where things were at with regards to ad copy or design. And so there was different levers within the funnel that needed improvement. And so it wasn't just this, what we call a North Star KPI. What's the
Mm-hmm.
most important one? If you were to go in for a doctor's appointment and they give you your blood pressure,
Yeah.
and that's maybe a North Star type KPI, a big factor that they want to make sure that that's okay. But then they run this bladder of tests that are effectively going into much more granularity around what might be causing a bad blood pressure reading. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of aspect that we're looking at within the funnel is what could be causing it, and are there different aspects within that could be causing this larger North Star KPI to being for it to be affected negatively. And so we found out that there were some breakdowns, even just on abandoned cart and follow up issues of like your scheduler, getting someone to be actually following up and getting them scheduled so that there's not a capacity issue where you have all these open appointments that aren't being filled. So how can we address that? And so that would probably be a small aspect of one of those KPIs within a broader North Star type KPI.